Welcome to the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast. I'm your host, Frank Array. We are brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals, where you could join us at Loan Officer Breakfast Club every Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. No, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Time. 8:30, not 9:30, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Time. 30 minutes free coaching for all loan officers nationwide. And it's super fun. Just go to breakfastclubzoom.com. It's a fun time, isn't it, Kevin? Breakfast
Oh,
Club.
it's a great time. I love it. I learn something every time I'm in there.
Me too,
100%.
man. Yeah, me too. It's fun to kick things around and explore things and get the guidance of some real pros, and some guys that have been doing
Yeah.
this a really, really long time and see how they're doing things. And it's just really wonderful. So, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. I have Kevin Gillespie with me here, and he is part of what we call the Leadership Academy, where Kevin, you coach and train leadership in the mortgage space. So this would be your broker owners, your branch managers, your divisional guys, your corporate guys. If you're involved in the sales process at your company and recruiting and that kind of thing, you help, right? You're the guy.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's all we coach is branch managers, broker owners, like you said, divisionals. But it's all about everything that anybody that's in the origination management side of things, right?
Yeah, I'm just
So,
curious. And I know we got a specific thing to talk about, and we'll get right to it because I don't want to take too much time for everybody. When did you start that, and why? When did this come
it's
about?
interesting. I was COO at a company. We had about 200 loan officers. I was really a believer in coaching, and I got connected with Carl.
Okay.
And I got like 20 or 25 of our people in coaching with Carl, and I was doing a little bit with them. And I finally told Carl one day, I said, man, what you teach to get an LO's volume up is great. The challenge is you get into management. We typically get into management. Why? Because we're good producers.
Right.
But
Always
we
the
haven't
case.
been taught the strategy or how to recruit or how to run your financials or how to run a process flow.
Right.
And so we started it 8 years ago, and I've got a couple of folks been with us almost that whole time. So,
Wow.
but it's a great group. We've got about 40 different companies in the group, 30 or 35, call it somewhere in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's such a brilliant idea. And for those who are watching slash listening right now, if you are running your own company or if you are part of a leadership of a mortgage banking organization, you might not be aware of this, but there is the Leadership Academy. It exists, and it's there to help your branch managers and your divisional guys recruit and train and learn processes, all that kind of fun stuff. So we're going to give you a link. It's profitdrivenplan.com, profitdrivenplan.com. We'll put it in the description if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on the Loan Officer Podcast Network. It'll be in the description there. If you're listening on Spotify or any of that kind of stuff, it's Profit Driven Plan. I hope you can remember that. ProfitDrivenPlan.com. You go there and you can connect with Kevin and the Leadership Academy. And if you're in this world of, leadership in the mortgage space, this is something you definitely want to check into and get going with. But today, you wanted to talk about something specific. What was that?
Well, how do you build a professional sales culture or professional sales process? Because you probably run into this, Frank, quite a bit, but I hear it all the time. I can't get my loan officers to make the calls I need to.
Right.
They're not getting out originating enough. They're not doing the activities they need to do. And it's not unusual because the way the business used to run, kind of a lot like the real estate business, you could get by making calls or making contacts kind of the way you wanted to. And but the business has changed over the last several years. So you really need, if you think about it, if you were at a pharmaceutical company or a high tech company, any of those type of professional companies in sales, they have a sales process they
Right.
follow, right?
Right.
And as sales leader, they expect their sales team to follow it and hit these targets. And we've been able to develop that and put it in place in several companies. At each company it varies a little bit, but you can make it your own. But there is some things you can do to really jump your sales volume and get consistency of production.
It's awesome. So I imagine See, I've actually been in this scenario in my career. Look, I've been doing this for 40 years, just about 40 years. So I've
You and me
definitely,
both.
yeah, I've definitely been the sales manager. I've definitely been the manager, broker, owner. I've done all of that. And yeah, that is, you are so right. That is such a crucial part of it all. A lot of times with originators, most of these guys, they're commission based only. They're not making any. So they kind of have the feeling like, well, I'll do what I want to do when I want to do it, and if I get a deal closed, I get a deal closed, and if I don't, oh well. They'd probably
Yeah.
rather close deals, but they're really not thinking, you know, anything about it if they have a slumpy month or whatever too much. But what you're saying is if we really want to be successful and recruit well and get good LOs doing well and make them and help them be successful, we have to have a culture built around a sales process. And this is what you help with. And you got like four things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I think there's, but you mentioned recruiting, and this isn't
Yeah.
about recruiting. But
Right.
if you're a
Yeah.
manager and you are recruiting, can you imagine if you had a process where you
Yes.
can prove and show to the potential recruit, hey, we're going to take you from 3 loans a month to 7 to 10,
Yeah.
and I can prove it to you. We do it all the time. Man, you can get some interest. You're
Yeah.
literally going to be able to change a lot of people's lives.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, and we've got a whole outline of things, but I think there's, I don't know, let's talk about four different things
Okay.
that a manager, leader, broker owner, company owner should do with their sales force, I think.
Okay.
Rather than just giving lip service or you got to go make
Right.
calls but we just watched the Super Bowl, right? Last
Yeah.
night, at the time of this recording, and the Olympics are going on.
Mm.
You know, how these are the pros of the pros. How often do you think those players meet with their coaches and drill and try to improve and work together to get better? I mean, these are high paid
I would
people,
say a
right?
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, they almost every day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird in our business. Oh yeah, here, yeah, go make calls, or
Good
here's
luck.
some scripts, right? Or here's
See what you can do.
yeah, and then we're surprised as leaders that that they're not uh,
Yeah.
they're not doing what we want them to do, and
Mm.
so there's really different things. So I think the first thing I'd put on the list they need to do is you got to get them to commit. You can't just do an annual like goal review. We all do that. We all set
Mm.
goals. We got the forms. We got the formulas. We got
Mm.
and that's good. And yeah, I want to make this much money, and there's a process to that. But really getting commitment's a different issue.
Mm.
That okay, you want to get this goal. You want to get this for your family. You want to pay for your kids' college, whatever the reasoning is, the why behind it that really motivates them. But then you got to be able to look them in the eye and have a very and not in a hard way. It's that's not our style
No,
either.
but just an
But
honest way. You know what I
but
mean?
exactly, you
A
got to say,
genuinely honest way. Right.
yeah, you've got to be willing to do what it takes day in and day out. You got to have a rhythm to this, right? You got to have a process, a structure, and are you willing to commit to that?
Mm.
You can't do it when you're not feeling like it. You can't do it, oh, when I get around to it. You've got to follow our process to make this work. And if you're willing to do that, I'm here to help you, right?
Mm.
We will tweak, we will coach, we'll keep doing whatever we need to. But if you're going to do this half-hearted, we're probably not the place for you.
Yeah.
And if you can get, let's say you have 10 loan officers, if you could get 4 or 5 people to commit like that, man, you're onto something because you can take them to the next level. Does
Mm.
that make sense to you?
It does. It does. And you said it here and in the green room before we got started. It's and like this is not a recruiting conversation, but in that process where if you are talking to a potential new recruit, talking about getting that commitment right there, right at the very beginning, before even
It's the
anybody
best
starts.
time to do it.
Now's the time we've got to figure this out. And of course you have to have a sales process, right, and
Mhm.
culture. But if you can display that this is our process and this is our culture, but we really need you to commit. to that before we can move forward.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because our title makes us a manager. I'm an owner, I'm a branch manager, whatever. That basically makes us a manager. But as a leader, we've got to have the ability to convey psychologically safety and certainty to these people.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if you do that and they believe, man, Frank's going to take me there, I'm going to follow Frank's lead and I'm going to do what the process requires.
Hmm.
But you can't just, if I believe that you're going to take me to a place, then I'll lean in. Then I'll be focused. Then I'll commit, not because half-hearted, but then I've got a better chance of leaning into it.
Right.
I don't know if I'm saying that real good. I hope
You
that
are.
makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing is you got to have a process where you meet regularly, just like the football team or the Olympians, uh, practice and refine every day. And what we coach in the marketing animal, 8 hours, we're not asking for 40, we're asking for 8 hours a week
Yeah.
of prospecting time and another hour or two a day where you're doing face-to-face meeting again, but not once in a while, not convenient. You meet every day and you huddle and you practice the scripts maybe together for a few minutes, but there's a whole process to get it in place and how to track the activities of what they're doing and how to get buy-in and commitment and have contests and make it fun. And if you can do that, besides, it's like going to the gym with a workout buddy. I'm more
Mm.
apt to go to the gym if I'm going to meet my workout partner, right?
Sure.
Same thing with the sales team, getting them to meet and do the sales activity as a leader. I mean, you'll constantly be reinforcing, you'll be training. That's where that conversations get better. That's where conversion rates get better. That's where relationships are built deep. And I, any way you do it, guys, get a regular process where your team is meeting and making calls and supporting one another together. We have that where we give the scripts, and we've got, of course, we got call stars at the marketing animals,
Sure.
but we have several people within our leadership group. They have built this call group within their own organization where it's
Yeah.
all their hellos. And
Indeed.
I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference.
Hey there, if you're loving the tips so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and then click on the bell as well so you never miss out on more cool free tips coming your way. And also, would love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think or what you want to see next.
Rick Riddle will tell you in his call group, his top five loan officers the year before last doubled their business. I mean, 100%. I mean, and the next five increased their business 50%.
Hmm.
Aaron Saucier in Louisiana
Sure, I know.
put this process in place, quadrupled their operations production over 12 months.
It's amazing. It's amazing what a commitment. We've only touched two things: commitment and a process of meeting together, making sure that we're getting together to do the prospecting activity. Even just those two things alone could be so significant. It's
Huge.
incredible. Yeah, and you're right. We have call stars at Mortgage Marketing Animals for the outlying individuals that are out there, or for groups, companies. You certainly can jump on call stars, but I know people as well, some of the same people that in the industry who have taken the call stars approach to their own companies, and it's 2 hours Monday through Thursday. Everyone is doing it together, getting on the phone and making the calls. It's just part of the culture, if you will, and they're wildly successful companies, because of it. So
Yeah.
very,
Mark
very cool.
Mark Helprin at Foundation Mortgage, they're a non-QM
Mm,
lender and wholesaler.
mm,
He literally has grown from next to nothing in over a couple of years with this kind of process.
mm.
Uh, it's not unusual for them to close over 80 million, maybe even 100 million a month.
Yeah,
Uh, I,
yeah,
you know, Justin Hubert, you're my good
hmm,
friend, has
yeah,
developed this process, same thing, and it's
yeah.
seen
Kill it.
tremendous
They
growth.
just kill it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What's the third one?
They got to really leverage the CRM. and tell me if this makes
Hmm.
sense because I see kind of the extremes. And it doesn't have to be a CRM. I mean, like what Chris Johnstone does is unbelievable, right?
Right.
What he does. But even, I mean, everybody's got a CRM, but I see two extremes.
Hmm.
Either the loan officer is putting all their time, effort, money, energy into the CRM, and between you and me, it's an excuse not to make calls,
Right.
right?
I got to get this set up first. It's not exactly right. I got to
Yeah,
tweak this item. I got to make sure that, so it's really a lot of tinkering in a tech piece
yeah,
rather than, hey, let's just go get the business in the door. So,
yeah. And then we see the opposite where the loan officer doesn't do anything with the
right.
CRM, right?
They have
And
one. Yeah.
they think it's harder than third period French, and so they
Yeah.
don't.
They've got one, but
Yeah.
they
Well,
never go in there. Yeah. Third period
yeah. And
French.
what we have found, and it's pretty easy to do, is how do you go in and hit your key, let's say referral agents, say you had 50 of them. How do you kind of spend 10 minutes a day and just comments on their thing? There's a process. They can do it real fast. And then about 2 hours a day where the loan officer takes whatever the branding information and sales idea the company has. Because most companies, when they're sending stuff out, they're sending it out to a database, but it's the company. What you really want to do is brand the loan officer as well, because that's who's making the call and the relationships are with. And so what the CRM will do is help keep people top of mind. And a loan officer, if they spent if their manager can show them how to spend 2 hours a week and consistently send out some messages to their database and how to build the database, and there's all sorts of tricks to that that are very simple. Man, it can give you massive leverage. And what we see is of the LOs and managers where they've got this type of process in place, the LO will average about an extra 3 loans a month
Yeah.
over those that are not involved. That if you had 5 loan officers, man, that's a real change
That's
to
a
your
big jump.
operation.
Yeah, and so originally you said 2 hours a day, but you clarified 2 hours a week
Yeah,
working on
well,
it.
really, 10 minutes a day just commenting. You aren't
Okay.
developing stuff.
Yeah.
And
And
about and then the content you're going to send out,
yeah,
you really can, even if it's spread out over the week, you can do it within about 2 hours on like a Friday or
got it.
whenever.
Okay.
I hope that's better said.
Yeah, no, that's better. Yeah, yeah. And but you're right. You need if you're a CRM is a tool that can help you scale, right? It can help you organize. It can help you stay on track, right, with certain things. So for those who have one but haven't touched it, haven't gone in, man, you got to figure that out. And
Yeah.
here's the other thing too, like you brought up Chris Johnson, the loan officer serum.ai, the depth of ability that thing has is just astronomical. It's
Nuts.
insane.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that can be a little a little challenging and daunting for a manager's LOs or even for a manager, to try and coach LOs on it. But it's really not. We have to take it on just a little bite at a time, right? And we got to start with the basics, and just get the basics up and running, and then we can add on top of it. We can
It,
add on top of it. Really, nothing's too hard in any CRM. It is if you look at it all at once and how am I going to get all that done? But if we attack any CRM, with basics in mind first, let's get up and running. It's not hard. In fact, it becomes very extremely useful, very powerful. So you're seeing improvements of like a few deals a month.
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen overnight, right?
Right.
But what it does, you think about it, for those who use it, it amplifies what the loan officer's doing. It makes their calls warmer, makes the follow-up easier, gets brand familiarity with you and the company and
Yeah.
the LO. You're basically buying brain cells.
Right.
It's not going to get you huge volume, but it's going to reinforce your other sales efforts.
It does.
Um, this is really cool. I was on a call the other day with Adam Crosley and Paul Dolan, and they have a process they've outlined, Paul really, and literally $100 a month with the way his CRM is set up and some strategic marketing with it for $100 a month. He's getting about 40,000 impressions a month.
Mm.
$100. You can't. So
It's
if I
pretty
can stay
good.
in front of whoever my client base is or my referral agents are, be there again and again and again and again and again in front of them, staying top of mind. It's well worth it for $100 a month.
Yeah, I always say that the things that the CRM can do for you, like that branding, that impressions, that marketing, the emails, et cetera, that can go out. I always say that, that's like your air attack, like
Oh, good description.
yeah, it's the air. So that you're gonna go invade somewhere, right? You send the air attack in first to soften up the ground, right? And then you send in the
Yeah.
ground troops. So that stuff is like the air attack, and then when you get on the phone to start calling, you're the ground attack, right? You're coming
Yep.
in on the ground. But the air stuff gets it kind of prepped for you. People get familiar. They understand who you are, and suddenly, oh, I know you. I've heard of you. I've seen you. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
100%. In fact, Paul was saying the other day, he goes, I've been doing this and now I'll go teach a class or I'll go somewhere. And if it were you that had been doing it, hey, Frank, I feel like I know you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you get it with all the stuff you do, right?
Oh,
It
all the
just,
time. Yeah. All the time.
and yeah, so it's just crazy not to do that.
Mm.
And then one last thing I'll mention
Yeah.
again, we have several things, but here's another easy one is what I call getting on stage. Is a leader, and here's why: is a lot of our loan officers don't like to speak in front of a group.
Got
Some
it.
do, and some are pretty good
Hmm.
at it. And if so, man, have at it. Give them some material, but you want to have an event at least once or twice a month. Adam Crosley, who's now closing 15 to 20 loans a month, he has two events every single month again and again. So that way, when he's making his calls, if he has nothing else to talk about, he can say, hey, Frank, I just want to make sure you got the invitation to
The event.
our happy hour or our
Hmm.
lunch and learn or whatever you're
Right.
doing.
Right.
Jack Thompson, who is um, in New Mexico and has 6 or 8 branches. Jack's got a big operations in our group. He does a rotation to all his branches about once a quarter. And what he will do is within about a month's time, he will be in front of a 800 or 1,000. I don't know what the number is. It's a big
Mm.
number though. It's a big number. And he takes his LOs from that area all the time. And he's reinforcing. What we find is if you do an event, man, the ability to get an appointment or follow up or deepen that relationship and then them recognizing what you're saying on the CRM, it just gets easier.
It
And
it really does. Yeah.
but it can't be, well, I do one thing a year. It can't,
Mm.
you want, again, you're looking in all these,
Mm.
whether it be
Mm.
after you get the commitment, your sales process in calls, your CRM, your events. If you can get that consistency and we track it, it's unbelievable some of the things that can happen.
Well, that is building a sales culture. That's
Yeah.
that's exactly what's going on there, and that's really 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 cool, man. And you've got more. This is just four of the items that
Yeah,
you
we,
that
we've
you
got
teach.
several different things we
Yeah,
can
several different
talk about.
things. So wow, well, great stuff, man. I appreciate it.
If anybody wants to brainstorm on it and just pick our brain and see if we're right for you or not, there's no heavy sell, but we'd love to talk to them.
There you go. Best way to reach out, profitdrivenplan.com, right?
Yeah,
Just go to
absolutely.
profitdrivenplan.com. And yeah, reach out, man. Yeah, trust me, Kevin and his team and what the Leadership Academy provides, it's always incredible feedback that we get. Like it's just insane. People love Leadership Academy. And if you're in leadership, it's one thing to be coached as an originator. There's just not a lot of coaching out there for mortgage leadership. The broker owner, the branch manager, the regional guy. There's not a lot there for them. But this does exist. And Kevin's been doing it a long time, and the content is insane. It's great. And you'll be better for doing it for sure. So,
Thank you.
all right. Well,
Well,
thanks for joining us, Kevin Gillespie. As always,
thank
it's
you,
a
friend. I
pleasure.
appreciate your friendship and all you do for us.
Oh, you betcha, man. Looking forward to seeing you on our Breakfast Club again. You're always there quite
Be there
often.
soon.
And for the rest of you guys as well, show up and do us a favor. If you're in leadership in any way in the mortgage industry and you want to learn more about what Kevin's talking about, go to profitdrivenplan.com. Profitdrivenplan.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, it's in the description. If you're on the Loan Officer Podcast Network, it's down below in the description. If you're on audio podcasts like Spotify or Apple, just remember it, profitdrivenplan.com. You can connect. Thanks, Kevin. Catch up with you later. For the rest of you guys, Adios.
All right. Thanks, guys.